petition to demand Senator Collins act to protect civil rights of Maine citizens. Whereas Senator Susan Collins serves as chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee.
Whereas in that capacity, Senator Collins has significant influence over federal budget legislation, and whereas the Senate in particular and the Congress at large must pass an appropriations bill before January 30th, 2026 to avoid a shutdown of government operations. And
whereas among the appropriations being considered by the Senate is a measure that would fund the Department of Homeland Security, including Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and Customs and Border Protection, CPB, agencies, and
whereas ICE agents have engaged in widespread, brutal, unlawful, and egregious violations of civil rights of American citizens, in addition to questionable acts to depose individuals who pose no threat, have committed no crime, and seek lawful means to maintain immigration status, and
whereas ICE agents caused the deaths of Renee Nicole Good and Alex Jeffrey Peretti, both U.S. citizens exercising their First Amendment rights of protest, and whereas further officials of DHS, the Department of Justice, and ICE are refusing to conduct any investigation into these shootings while impeding the ability to local law enforcement to examine the circumstances. And
whereas DHS has reportedly prepared instructions to ICE agents that they may enter the homes of U.S. citizens based solely on an administrative warrant in direct and express violation of the Fourth Amendment right of citizens to be, quote, secure in their persons and houses, unquote, except upon issuance of a judicial warrant based upon probable cause. And whereas based on this unconstitutional policy, agents of ICE have invaded the homes of American citizens without a judicial warrant and dragged them out of their abodes, and
whereas ICE now maintains a database of citizens who protest their actions under the rubric that these citizens are domestic terrorists, whereas ICE agents have been hired without adequate background checks, furnished deadly weapons without sufficient training in avoidance of conflict, without imbuing respect for the right of Americans to protest peacefully, and whereas further there is evidence the leadership of DHS, ICE, and CPB are promoting a culture of intimidation. And
whereas the governor of Maine has urged that ICE cease operations that are causing civil unrest due to the unjustified brutality of ICE actions against peaceful protests.
Now, therefore, we, the citizens of Maine, demand
that Senator Collins refuse to advance any further appropriations for DHS, ICE, and CPB without such measures and safeguards as will bar those agencies from taking actions that violate the civil and constitutional rights of U.S. citizens. That such measures include, but not be limited to, the following.
A, barring ICE, ICE, CPB, or other agents from attacking, harassing, gassing, threatening, or arresting any person engaged in the act of peacefully protesting ICE action, including the following of agents or filming of ICE activities.
Barring ICE, CPB, or other agents of the federal government from entering any home except upon a warrant issued by an Article 3 judicial officer upon probable cause, and suspending the use of administrative warrants.
C. Barring the arrest and deportation of any individual engaged in the process of lawfully complying with immigration orders, including those who appear for immigration hearings, asylum applications, and so forth.
D. Barring ICE, CPB, or any other federal agents from detaining, arresting, removing, harassing, or threatening any child, except to the extent an arrest warrant has been issued by an Article 3 judicial officer upon probable cause.
Requiring ICE to inform any United States citizen whose name has been added to a database of domestic terrorists or any similar database of the date, time, and nature of the action that caused said person to be so designated, and allowing that person an opportunity to petition any federal district court for an order removing their name from such federal records.
F. Requiring the Federal Bureau of Investigation to to cooperate fully with local law enforcement in the investigation of any incident of ICE agents denying the civil rights of U.S. citizens and barring any effort to prevent or interfere with investigations of ICE agent violations of state law.
Barring DHS, ICE, CPB, or any federal agency from producing, disseminating, or altering, through AI or other means, an image of any U.S. citizen for propaganda purposes, and allowing any citizen whose image has been so manipulated to advance a civil action for damages against any officer of federal government, such suit to be brought in a United States District Court.
And finally, that Senator Collins condemn the actions of U.S. ICE agents who have violated the civil rights of U.S. citizens under the First, Second, and Fourth Amendments to our Constitution.
As the current President of the United States likes to say, thank you for your attention to this matter.